You closed the company?
Everything's computerized now.
People have a deep mistrust of machines. Have you seen Terminator?
Yep.
Or 2? Or 3? Or 4?
All of them.
Hey everybody, it's What the Flick. Ben Mankiewicz, Alonzo Duralde, formerly of the Associated Press. Christy Lemire.
But number one in our hearts.
Right. I'm fun employed and loving it.
And we learned what happens when Christy Lemire leaves the Associated Press. We're here to bring you the review of The Internship, and the Associated Press is giving it a good review, and in a little preview of what's about to happen here. What could they possibly have been thinking?
Jocelyn's very smart, a very solid, serious journalist. I have a lot of respect for her.
All right, well, there you go.
I don't know what she saw, though.
Okay. Alonzo.
Okay, so The Internship, it's Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson. Were we dying to see them together again after Wedding Crashers? I wasn't, sorry. Anyway, they play 40-somethings who have been fired from their old sales jobs because their company no longer exists, and so they are adrift in the new economy and not sure what to do. They wind up getting internships at Google somehow, despite the fact that they have no training and no qualification, but they've got spunk or something. And can they survive the summer? Will their team win and actually get jobs at the internet giant? Take a look.
Vic, I got it. Google. You got us a job at Google? Not a job. It's an interview for an internship that could lead to a job.
Are you ready for this?
Welcome to Google. This will not be your average internship.
We're looking at some sort of mental Hunger Games against a bunch of genius kids for just like a handful of jobs.
I'm totally eager to see them again. I loved Wedding Crashers. I loved Old School. This is like a combination of both movies because, yeah, it was Luke Wilson and Old School, but come on.
Name that Wilson. Andrew gets to do the next one.
Andrew gets to do
Yes.
And so I was totally pleased by the idea of hearing about the internship, which I understand why, like in a pitch meeting, that goes over well. That like two old guys go to Google and are their summer interns. Like it's potentially funny, but there is no bite, no edge. This movie is so safe. It's like taking these grown-ups who are capable of sort of being raucously filthy at times and cleverly filthy, and then making a movie for 12-year-olds, except for one scene that's for 25-year-olds, which seems totally out of place.
Would that be the strip joint where all the women wear tops?
Yeah.
The interminable strip club scene, but that scene is so indicative of like much of what is wrong here, because this movie is 2 hours long. And as individual scenes go on way too long, individual bits go on way too long. There's probably 1 or 2 challenges too many, 1 or 2 montages too many. But like the strip club scene could have ended a good, like, 10 minutes earlier.
The strip club scene almost should have been part of a montage, which came later, but it didn't.
Multiple montages,
right?
Yes.
But it didn't. It just felt like out of place because it's a significant set piece. It's a big thing in the middle of the movie.
It's how they bond.
It's how they bond, but it's such an unlikely way that they would have bonded. There's nothing credible that happens. There's no. I mean, there were a couple of funny lines. I suppose there was one I thought sort of very sweet, nice, believable scene with Owen Wilson and his love interest Rose Byrne,
which is a whole nother needless thing.
Totally. Every time I see Rose Byrne, generally I'm like, I can't believe that's Rose Byrne. She can do so many things. She's not asked to do anything here except look great, which she pulls off.
Cute.
Yeah, I like her in general. But they have this wonderful date together, and there's some really clever lines in that date. And I thought after that, I was like, well, that was the only good 3 minutes in this entire
It's one of those movies where, and this comes up every so often, the one that always sticks in my mind is that awful Friends with Kids movie that Jennifer Westfeld made. But sometimes you're watching a movie and you realize, okay, this is a comedic situation, and these are funny people, and this is the idea of a comedy unfolding before me. Right. And yet I am not laughing.
It's because
I am not laughing at all. I mean, it's just lying there.
Yeah, no, it's the thing that you were alluding to at the beginning of, these are guys who used to have edge to them and had raunch in them. And it's like what happened with Eddie Murphy when he decided to make these really safe family comedies. This is not that safe, but when somebody who ordinarily is at his best dirty and edgy goes soft.
Richard Pryor did the same thing.
It's no fun anymore. These guys aren't fun. Now they're like inspiring father figures, and each one of them has a moment with these like awkward cast-off kids at the Google internship.
These awkward cast-off, super handsome kids, right? And brilliant, right?
Exactly. With glasses on, so they're not cute anymore. Let's talk about director Sean Levy. Like, you know, last week everybody was piling on M. Night Shyamalan, and oh, he's the worst director, and he ruins everything. Sean fucking Levy makes the worst movies today, I think. Some of though he is bottom 5 for me.
But they make money.
They make a shit ton of money, but they're awful. The Pink Panther movies and Real Steel and
Date Night was not very
yeah,
funny.
I mean just
his comedies are not like this is comedy in theory, right? So
allegedly,
this is not a big
yes.
action family movie.
Night at the Museum, the first one, which I liked, and I thought there were some nice sort of performances in it and fun things in it, but that was clearly for families. That was the idea, is that it was sort of safe and innocuous, and there were moments in it that were okay, and that it delivered on its promise. This, when you put Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson in a movie and essentially send them to Google College, and you're sort of alluding both to simultaneously to Wedding Crashers and Old School, and you expect it has to have bite to it. The strippers have to be naked. You know,
at least topless.
And there has to be
have to have like that 6 foot range where
they
you can't
gotta be,
touch them.
Yeah, right.
or even if it's not going to be an edgy comedy, it has to be a something. It has to.
Did you laugh at all? Were there any moments you laughed at?
There were a couple.
Yeah, me too.
You know, but it's a big bowl of like unflavored gelatin. You know, there's just nothing going on.
It's
yeah,
broth.
it is. It
You've
is
been
broth.
sick and you need to eat something.
With no salt.
Good for you.
Yeah, I mean, and the color palette of this movie, I don't usually notice this sort of thing, but you know, Google, their whole thing with their logo, it's all the primary and secondary colors. Everything in this movie is green, red, yellow, blue, and it's an assault. Like my eyes were raped by Roy G. Biv in this movie. It was worse than Speed Racer in terms of just like, I want some gray anything, you know.
I have a 3-year-old, so I'm used to that. I had a discussion with your husband afterward about whether or not this is a positive depiction of Google, because he thinks it's like the worst place to work ever based on this movie.
I would think that Dave
I
would think
disagree.
that was the worst
it's
place.
kind of like joining the Moonies. It's everybody's too happy and there's too many like activities, you know.
He could believe that Google would actually like let them shoot on their campus based on the way it turns out.
Yeah,
I disagree. I would say they make it look like a really cool, coveted
agree.
thing to have.
No, and they definitely it's an ad for Google, and you know certainly nobody talks about like blocking democracy sites in China. You know, it's all about we're creating the future.
They took,
you know.
Free bagels and juice.
They took one scene out. They took the script had one of the Google driverless cars crash, and Google asked that
no, hell no.
Google asked that be removed. But
There's actually a Google bus though. There's a Google bus that
Yeah.
goes and picks up employees.
They didn't pay for it. Google didn't pay anything, but their cooperation was significant. They shot some at the main Google camp, but the whole thing they recreated in Atlanta at Georgia Institute of Technology. That's where the thing
How do
was
you know
shot.
this?
I read a CNN article.
Well,
25 minutes ago.
They drive by the Fox Theater, so I did spot Atlanta early on, but I didn't know that was where. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, that's right. It was Fox Theater. I first thought that was Chicago.
Speaking of geography, can we talk about the fact that this always bothers me when a movie is shot in a city that I know the geography of it, right? Okay, so they're in Palo Alto, right? They take the Google bus to the city. That's what it's called there. And then ultimately, at the sunrise, they're at the Marin Headlands looking over at the skyline. Now, did they walk across the Golden Gate Bridge and then hike up to the Marin Headlands where there's like that one bench for them to sit on? I mean,
Did the bus take them there?
That's right. Does the bus have like
They're
a
like, we had to get
stop
back. Where's the bus? I'm like,
at
is the bus
other
right?
side?
Boy, you don't ever want to watch Falling Down because that's like Michael Douglas walks through all of LA in a day. It's
These
crazy.
things bother me. They bother me also in The Wedding Planner when Jennifer Lopez lives in the East Bay but is in a cab on the Golden Gate Bridge to go to SFO for a flight. I'm like, she went all the way up and like across Richmond San Rafael Bridge and back down again. I'm uptight about these things.
Anyway.
If this is my main problem here, then this is a problem.
It gives you time to think about it
I
because
had
you're just
plenty
like,
of time.
oh God.
My main problem is what you guys referred to earlier, was this just long periods of largely complete silence in the theater.
Yeah.
Except for you find clearly out of 50 people in the theater, you can hear 3 people laughing consistently, and those are the 3 people who will like it, and that's why there are some people and why it's at 26% now on Rotten Tomatoes. But I looked last night, and it was 40, and this morning it was 29, and I looked late, I took a shower, and it was 27, and when we started today, it's 26. I mean, as more and more people submit their reviews, it's going to go down.
By the time you see this, who knows what it'll be.
Yeah, it's
like the first time that Vince Vaughn mentions the whole Flashdance comparison.
Right, the inspiration story.
That's like indicative of the whole movie. Like they will hammer something.
And they cut it again and again.
There's a allegedly funny line that got a laugh in the theater. I saw with him saying "on the line" instead of online, and then it is like
they do it over.
Bam, bam, bam. It just keeps getting repeated, and like that's the kind of thing that, as a 40-year-old guy in sales who had a computer and knew how to Google stuff, like it's not funny because he would know that.
He's not that.
Like my dad and more my mom might say on the line.
These guys aren't 60, they're 40.
Right, they're 40. It's just
they've had computers for 15 years.
And I really like them. You know, there are moments, and there's some Vince Vaughn patter there, and he wrote this that I or co-wrote it. That you're reminded, like he's funny. He makes funny things funnier. But there's just not enough here that's funny in the first place to make funnier.
Aren't you guys tired of that guy though? Like the fast talking, like smart alecky.
Not in a
guy.
clever situation.
No, you still enjoy him?
It's funny. Dave and I were talking about this last night. It's like, I think if Vaughn and Favreau are fun to watch together, unless it's couples retreat, of course. But I think that his shtick can be funny in the right way, and if it's written well, and if it's in the service of something that is working. But this movie is just so kind of blandly inert, and Dave said it felt like a remake of Summer School, that 80s movie. It's very much this kind of like these misfits have to band together and win the thing, and
I think Mark Harmon's like the richest person in Hollywood, by the way.
Well, probably, yeah. CIS has been on forever.
It's like the #1 show in the world.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like Vince Vaughn. I just do. I just think it's funny, but it's got to. I mean, he's capable of being very funny, but it's got to. The idea's got to be funny, and this wasn't even attempted. This was an attempt to be bland, and then afterwards, you shake everybody's hand. You pulled it off. Yeah, well done.
Fish out of water, high concept.
Yeah.
Yay.
All right. So.
What numbers are?
I mean, I'm the high person here at 3.5, but I hated it.
3.
2.5. It's unflavored gelatin. That's all I got.
I was more interested in how After Earth turned out. Legitimately, like After Earth, I was like, oh, how are they going to resolve the situation? Is somebody going to die? Here. Just looking at my watch.
This is our basis of comparison for everything from now on. Do you care about it more or less than what happens to Jaden Smith?
If I had been wearing Google Glass, I would have been more entertained.
So we give it a 3. Thanks.